to the chair, something. So, welcome everybody. This was supposed to be a 15,000 subscriber video, but a few weeks happened and here we are, about to hit 20,000 subs. So let's just pretend now that it's a 20,000 subscriber video because we're about to get there very shortly. You might be able to tell that this video is not scripted, which I normally don't do because, let's face it, I'm barely funny whenever I've had time to write my jokes, and when I haven't, well, you might have heard that my second Moral Oral video, the one about the prequel, went down for a while because of a copyright claim that the company made on it. And it got removed and I started fighting it, and finally it's back up now. That's part of the reason why this video has taken so long to make. I've recorded it now 3 times-ish and I hated it and I scrapped it, So I asked you guys to ask me some questions so we could have a little Q&A celebration, and Dev asked, could you go a bit more in depth into how you make your video essays? Do you have a backlog of things you want to write, or does stuff just come to you in a dream? I do have a few things I'd like to write, but if you're a patron, then you already know that these things, they can be fickle at times, or I can be fickle, I guess. I usually get inspired to write something, I want to write it, but it's a couple projects away, and by the time I get to it, something else has come along. But for now, I'll tell you the couple of things that I'm tossing around, that I've been tossing around, are a video on Over the Garden Wall, which huge thank you to my patron Broccoli for giving me the idea for that one, because I'd never heard of the show until a few weeks ago. It's fucking amazing. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The music is perfect in that show. Also, I really like Gretzko, which is an anime made by the same people that did Hello Kitty, except it's very much not for kids. It's a very scathing critique of capitalism and hustle culture and those kinds of things, which I absolutely love, and that's another one that I'd like to make in the similar vein of the Moral Oral video. So yeah, those are the 2 things that I'm working on. As to my process, usually it's a while. If everything goes to plan, usually I will take about a week researching a video, you know, watching the shows, writing down notes. Usually like for the Moral Oral video, I'll put up the notes here. I took notes for every single episode. And then usually another week or so at least to write the script. Depending on the script, it could take longer. Like for the Horizon video, that was like 47 pages. So yeah, that took at least a couple weeks to write. Just write, and then like another week to edit. Usually editing though takes only, the script takes only a few days to do. And then I come to recording the audio, which I'm kind of anal about. I want it to sound a certain way. So that will take a couple of days, and then a few more days to cut it down, make it to where it's, you know, in a usable form. Sometimes I'll record myself in the video, like with that Horizon video for part of it. That takes a little bit more time. But usually then I move on to the video editing part, which if I'm not in it, then it just comes down to getting clips, you know, pictures to fill in, those kinds of things, and editing all together. So that process can usually take around a week, maybe 2. All said and done, it's at least like a month-long process to put out a video in the style of Moral Oral. For the shorter ones that are like maybe 20 minutes long, that's a little bit less, usually like 2.5, 3 weeks-ish, sometimes less. It just depends on how things are going. As you may know, this is right now my part-time job. I have a full-time job as a teacher at a private school. I teach math and physics. So I would like to make this a full-time gig eventually, if we can get there. Patreon.com/meromorphic, just saying. But yeah, so that's basically the video making process, and I'm glad you asked. Thank you. Lars Hogan asks, have you watched the Tower of God anime? Will you do a review on the new Brandon Sanderson book? Why don't we get more Chewie, Leia, and Teak? And what's your best dad joke? You didn't have anything more to ask? Like what's my life story or anything like that? I'll answer them in order, I guess. No, I have not watched the Tower of God anime. I just looked it up. It looks kind of interesting. Maybe I'll check it out. Will you do a review on the new Brandon Sanderson book? Probably not. I'm a huge Brando Sando fan. If you've not read The Cosmere, it's amazing. It's basically elevator pitch, a fantasy series of series where each series is set on a separate planet but within the same universe, and they each have their own separate magic systems, but they will connect at different points. It's pretty cool. But I probably won't do a review on it, mostly because I'm not a review channel per se, but also, I don't know, I haven't really strayed into the realm of books yet. Maybe. I'll keep it open, I guess. As for your third question, this here is Teak. She is a little shit, and she's a good kitty as well. We got her, if you recall, there was a really bad snowstorm in Texas a few years ago, and she just kind of came to us one day. She just kind of glommed onto us, and we love her. So this is a kitty. I guess she's just gonna sit here now. Dev asked a couple more questions. Have any of the kids you teach come across your YouTube, and what's your favorite quirk? So to answer your first question, yes, they have. Actually, funny story, I worked with a woman who moved up to Colorado, and she texted me a month or so after my Moral Oral video started to blow up, saying that one of her kids, she caught watching it while like they were in class or something. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, a couple of the kids that are at my school have also found it, and it was kind of interesting. And the other one, obviously the charm quirk. I don't think I really need to defend that. LP Bastion asks, when is the next Destiny lore book reading? I love those videos from you, and we've not had one in a long while. Crying emoji. Yeah, so I told my patrons this a while back, but I never officially announced it on my YouTube channel. There probably won't be any more Destiny lore books in the near future, at least. I wanted to move the channel away from that for the reason that I enjoy writing and creating my own content. Whenever I started the channel originally, even before the Destiny lore book stuff, it was mainly to try to get my friends to get attached to things that I liked, because I was always so excited about things and I couldn't get them into it, so I'd make my own videos to show them and be like, dude, look how badass Borderlands 3 is. And I just really liked making my own stuff. But then I also enjoyed making audiobooks, so I started that for a while. And while I do enjoy making those, again, I just prefer to be able to write my own things and perform those. And, you know, apparently you guys like them, so I kind of want to stick with that for a while. That's not to say I'd never do another reading if I find a lore book that I really, really enjoy, but it's not something that I'm prioritizing at the moment. Sorry to disappoint you guys. I know a lot of y'all in the beginning joined the channel for those types of videos, but yeah, that's the answer. I would suggest maybe checking out Tesla7. He does some lore stuff. He voiced some stuff in one of my videos, and I voiced a character in his really, really awesome machinima style retelling of the Dredgen lore. Dredgen Your Lore. So if you're into Destiny, go check out his channel. AZ asks, is the symbol for your logo from Destiny? It looks like a warlock symbol. You got a keen eye, my friend. Yes, it is. It is actually from Destiny, and I don't know, it stuck. I liked it. Icy Muck asks, what's your favorite food? Ooh, that is a loaded question. For those of you who know me personally, you'll know that I am an extremely fucking picky eater to an annoying degree. I'm gonna have to be a little lame and say a good hamburger, like a really, really good one with like some maybe Wagyu or Kobe beef, Kobe probably, or even just Five Guys. Five Guys is fucking amazing if you haven't had it. Cruising Scenes and Taking Beans asks, you're on a desert island. You only have one movie to watch for the rest of your life. What movie is it? I'm gonna have to sidestep and answer series instead. And it might be surprising, but actually the Netflix series Love. If you haven't seen it, it's fucking hilarious. It's a Judd Apatow one. I'm normally not the hugest Apatow fan, but this series is amazing, and I can't remember for the life of me the lead actor's name, but I really wish we saw him in more. Plus it has Britta from Community. So yeah, that. And finally, Yogarine asks a physics question, which I guess we're all gonna learn some physics now. So he basically asks, why does light slow down in a medium? So this is a really interesting question, and it actually can be described in a couple different ways. Now, the true way is the quantum mechanics way, which we're not going to stray into. We're gonna stick to the classical definition, which is a pretty damn good approximation of what actually happens. So basically, whenever a photon or a light wave enters a medium, it starts to cause all the particles around it to emit their own electromagnetic fields, because light itself is just a fluctuating electromagnetic field, electric field and magnetic field. And as it fluctuates, it causes things around it to fluctuate as well. And whenever those things do fluctuate, they tend to oppose that. So as it travels through the medium, it's causing all these electromagnetic fluctuations opposing the propagation of this light wave, which if you use the superposition principle, or as Yogarine says, superimpose them together, what you get is an effective light wave that slows down relative to the observer on the outside. If it weren't for the effects of these external electromagnetic fields affecting the original, it would pass through unimpeded. But as it is, this is what happens. Now, you said something about being confused because it's changing the frequency of the light wave, and to my understanding, this is not actually the case. It's changing the wavelength while the frequency stays the same and the velocity changes. You're right though, the wavelength and the frequency are generally how we think of color in light, because as the wavelength changes, so does the color in the visible spectrum, at least. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. It seemed like you were basically already there. You just need a little clarification. Oh, okay. And this is one of my other dogs. This is Leia, or as we call her, Boogie. She is basically a potato on toothpicks. She's a little bit fatty, but she's a good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. So yeah, that's basically all the questions that you guys asked me. Thank you so much for helping me get to this point. I genuinely never thought that I would hit 20,000 subs, which I guess technically I still haven't, but we're getting there. Whenever I started this channel, like I said, it was originally just me trying to get my friends to play video games with me, basically. So getting 20,000 subs, having a video hit damn near 2 million is still fucking mind-blowing to me. I still honestly check the video from time to time because I don't believe that it happened. But it did, and it's thanks to y'all. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. Thank you to my patrons who continue to support me, even though there's these long gaps in between the videos. I appreciate your patience, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, before you go, by the way, we have the You're Nice shirts on my Teespring. There's the link down in the description if you want to get one yourself. Anyways, I'll see y'all later. I also wanted to give a huge thank you to my newest patrons, Raven, Riley, and Coolie Doggy. Thank y'all so much. Every little bit helps.